Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Avatar Wolf's YouTube channel. It feels kind of insane to say that, really. I haven't been on YouTube for like 6 years until the first video came out. Actually, today, because we're recording this on the 2nd, but you guys will probably be seeing this next week, sometime next week, probably before the first NFL game. I'm actually joined today by one of my good friends. You want to introduce yourself to YouTube?
Hey guys, what's up? I am Pootie227, aka known as the asshole that commentates with Wolf on AWW.
If you guys don't know what AWW is, go check out my Twitch channel. You guys should actually come out there every Friday at 7 p.m. It's all fun, especially if you're wrestling fans.
Oh
Especially.
wow, I forgot we're on a completely different format here.
Yeah, we are.
Well,
You
if you
probably
guys
didn't.
know me on YouTube, I have the same name on YouTube as I do on Twitch. So,
Anyways, we're going to be talking about the NFL season, week one predictions. We're going to be going through all the games, talking about a little bit of news that we found out from the NFL as well today, and just getting through all the games. Potter, are you ready?
I'm absolutely ready.
All right, so the first game we're going to talk about today is going to be the Dallas Cowboys at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which will be the Thursday night game. Um, there's a fly. Sorry, guys.
The
Okay,
also the awesome thing about that game right there is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the first team in the NFL to have 100% of their players, coaches, and staff fully vaccinated.
that is true. They're actually the first team to actually do so. You think
But
that's
the
because
thing
Tom
about it
Brady?
was Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette was the last player to get vaccinated, being very, very weary about the vaccination. But on his Twitter today, he definitely confirmed that he has been 100% fully vaccinated. He was the last Buccaneers member to get it done. He said he wanted to make his team a better team and be a team player.
So, who do you have winning this game with the Buccaneers and Cowboys?
Honestly, between the Bucs and the Cowboys, right now, it's looking like the Bucs, and here's why. The Bucs still have that energy coming off last year's Super Bowl win. You know what I'm saying? Tom Brady looks like he's 34 years old, not 44 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just a special energy there. Whether you love him or you hate him, and I hate him, you gotta love the fact that what Bruce Arians has done for that organization in a short period of time.
So, my question right now is how long does Brady have in the NFL? That's what's going to actually determine how when the Bucks or when Tom Brady actually has a downfall, because you never know if he's going to stay in the Bucks for the rest of his career. I believe he
Honestly,
will be, but you never know.
with the way that Brady plays, dude, it's really the timetable for him is it's very manageable. Like you can't say he has 2 or 3 years left because then he'll go out and throw 6 touchdowns in a game. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? The skill of the man is just unprecedented.
But
He truly
sooner
is one of the greatest to play the game of football. And I hate to say that because I hate Tom Brady.
but sooner or later, a quarterback's arm can only take so much. We've seen it with Peyton Manning, right? His arm just completely failed on him, basically. He had the mental of where like to go with the ball and everything, but his arm just couldn't get the ball there anymore. And you could see flashes of Brady actually having that type of arm strength just loosening over the years as well. I mean, he's like what 45. It's gonna happen. It's gonna it happens. It's just taking a slow decline for Brady. Anyways, Potter, real quickly, what was your score for that game with the Bucks taking on the Cowboys?
Honestly, the Bucs are going to beat the Cowboys 35-17.
35-17. Okay, I understand.
35-17. And
Okay,
mind you, the Cowboys are going to score those 17 points closer to the end of the game. The Cowboys don't look good this year at all. The way they played their preseason looks really sloppy. They're already looking like they're in December right now. In December form for the Cowgirls. I'm just saying, like I got a lot of friends who are Cowgirls fans. Fuck you, Randy. Fuck you, Mike. Um, and honestly, dude, like the way that they play, it does not look good, whether they have a quarterback like Dak Prescott or not.
okay. So I know Jeff K. By the way, someone who watches, who's probably gonna be watching this. He gave his predictions already for it's gonna be on the screen as well when we actually talk about predictions. I'm gonna have the predictions of other people on the screen as well, not just me and Potters. But I know he's a Cowboy fan as well, and I'm actually gonna be defending the Cowboys a little bit here. I'm gonna take the Bucs. However, I don't think it's gonna be a lopsided game. I think the Bucs are gonna win 34-31. Only because I think Dak Prescott has something to prove in this game. It's his first game back. He's got to show something, and I love the receivers with C.J. Lamb, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup. I love that receiving core. It's not the best receiving core, in my opinion, but
and they haven't really done anything this preseason. But again, it's been the preseason.
It's preseason, and they're hiding it. That's my thought process about it. So I think he's going to come out and he's going to show something.
The reason why I say that what I say is because the way they play is exactly the way that the Cowboys make their decline around December and January. It's not going to be pretty in Dallas this year.
It's going to be an interesting season for the NFC North in general, though. But we'll talk about that more when we get to more of the teams in the NFC North as well. So we're both taking Buccaneers, but we had a different outcome in how the game's going to go. I think it's going to be a lot closer than Potter thinks it's going to be. Let's move on to the next game. So we have the Jacksonville Jaguars going to Houston, take on the Houston Texans. Potter, real quickly, since you started this thing, we're going to let you say your first prediction for this game as well.
So let's talk about the Urban Meyer situation. Urban Meyer said earlier this week that the vaccination and unvaccination of players most definitely came up in the cutting process. Now the NFL Players Association has no choice but to investigate. What does this mean for Urban Meyer going forward? Is Urban Meyer going to be suspended by the NFL for his comments? Is he going to be in any way, shape, or form taken, are they going to make an example of him is the question that I have.
So I'm going to say this right now. I think Urban Meyer will probably get only a fine for it. I don't see him getting actually in big trouble for it because I just don't know how you can prove that it was the vaccines that made them get cut when you could see on the field if they were playing good or not too. So you gotta take that in mind as well. It's hard to say that this man got cut because of COVID vaccine.
That's exactly what Urban Meyer said though, Wolf. Did you not watch it? He said the vaccination and unvaccination of players were definitely a consideration in the cutting process.
I thought he denied it. I'm pretty sure. I thought Urban Meyer denied it.
No. He said the vaccination and unvaccination of players were definitely considered, which is something he definitely should not have said.
I still think he's going to get hit with a fine because the NFL should have known this was going to happen. Let's be honest here. The NFL should have known that the vaccine was going to be
a fine him or anything like that. I just think they're going to investigate and make sure all the P's and Q's, all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. So in Jacksonville, somebody from Buffalo got signed to Jacksonville today. Is Jacob Hollister, the tight end, prospect for Buffalo, who was cut earlier yesterday, got signed real quick to Urban Meyer's team. To no avail if we'll know he'll be a practice squad member or not. That should be coming up in the next few days on that little reveal of information.
Anyways,
so it's nice to see. I liked Jacob Hollister coming out of college. I really liked him in the preseason for the Bills. I think he'll make a big impact there in Jacksonville if they use him correctly.
Anyways, let's get to the game itself. Who do you think is going to win Jacksonville and the Houston Texans?
Going to be close against the Pack. Pack's going to win by 3, so it's going to be 17-14.
Who do you think's going to win?
The Packers.
I said Jacksonville against Houston.
Oh, I'm sorry. Houston is a shit show there right now. I say Jaguars by 3. Trevor Lawrence should have a good first game.
So what do you think the score is going to be?
17-14.
17-14?
Right. In Houston, it's weird right now to say what's going on with Deshaun Watson's playing time up in the air. And right now, Tyrod Taylor is the incumbent starter. That's how it looks. But Taylor, in an interview, said, I believe it was yesterday, that he's not concerned with that. He gets prepared as a starter to start whether he's the starter or not. And that is the same attitude he had to Buffalo. The Titans should fare well, or the Texans should fare well if Taylor is in the backfield for them come game one. However, Taylor's the type that's afraid to get the deep ball gone down the field. And we both know how frustrating that is to see.
So you're taking Jacksonville 17-14 against the Texans. Just want to make sure that's correct.
Mm.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm actually taking the Jaguars over Houston. What?
Trevor Lawrence is going to have a game in his first game.
So
Let me tell you that.
I'm going to say this. I took the Jaguars over Texans. Basically the same score as you, only I said the Houston Texans are going to get 13 points, not get 2 touchdowns on the board. I think it'll be 2 field goals instead of a touchdown.
Definitely get a defensive touchdown. They'll definitely get a defensive touchdown there. And, again, Tyrod Taylor's not incompetent, but he is definitely not the guy. Look for the Texans to be making a deal with either the Dolphins or the Panthers this within the next few weeks for Deshaun Watson. I'm sorry.
All right, let's keep going on with this. A real quick game here. Los Angeles Chargers at the Washington football team. Tyler, who do you have winning this game?
Right. So let's talk about this one real quick. So it's Washington against who?
Chargers.
The Chargers have done really well in the preseason, from what I'm to understand. I haven't really heard much, but Justin Herbert has grown a lot with his throwing motions. I'm going to have to give it to the Chargers, and they're going to do it. They're going to do 21-3.
21-3.
I don't think anything in Washington has really worked out. I think Washington has no idea what the hell they're going to do. They decided to let their first-round draft pick just go. In my opinion, that was the worst move that they could make, letting Dwayne Haskins go without letting him grow even the slightest bit. And yes, I have to say that because I'm biased, because I am an Ohio State fan, so I have no idea why they just let the man go. I think it was a bonehead move, and I think the Steelers are going to get the ones that are going to get the payoff in the end there.
Okay, well, I actually took the Washington football team over the Chargers 10-3. My reasoning is that Washington still has their best defensive unit coming in. Last year, we seen that was actually deadly and devastating against our teams. I expect Herbert to actually have a hard time, especially in the sophomore season, against a defense like the Washington football team. And then I gotta say this, Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick is now a starting quarterback for Washington. I think Fitzpatrick is actually doing really good with Washington. I think Fitzpatrick's actually a decent quarterback, and people don't.
He's not a terrible quarterback. You're absolutely right. He's not terrible in the slightest bit. However, remember how uncertain Fitzpatrick can be. One game he's hot. He's hot for 3 games, then he's throwing 6 picks in a game. So it's always been up and down like that with Ryan Fitzpatrick. And it's a shame because Ryan Fitzpatrick is a competent quarterback. And he has been for a long time now. He's a journeyman, so it's nice to know that he can, go against other teams and kind of know what they're doing and shit like that.
Now, I'll say this. I think Fitzpatrick actually has the experience that he's actually been starting to get more. Instead of being streaky like he is, he's starting to get more confident in the role as a starting quarterback as well. That's why I think with Fitzpatrick. We've seen it with the Dolphins, actually, last season.
Right, but then he was benched for Tua Tagovailoa, and wonder what. And seriously, here's my question: what did that do to the man's confidence? We haven't seen him play since then.
I think he has something to prove, so we'll see how it goes with Washington and
maybe he has a chip on his shoulder. Ryan Fitzpatrick has never been to the playoffs before, and as many years he's been in the playoffs, he's played. Well, that's not true. I'm pretty sure he played in a playoff game for the Bengals, but they didn't do very well. I think he came in. He didn't start it. He came in for an injured Carson Wentz.
All right,
or not Carson Palmer. I'm sorry.
Because we're actually at the 5-minute mark, but let's just keep going here. We got the Seattle Seahawks at the Indianapolis Colts. Who are you taking and why?
What? I'm sorry. One more time.
Seahawks at Colts.
Now that's an interesting game right there because the Colts without Carson Wentz. Who do they have under center?
Is
Carson Wentz? Huh? Wentz is hurt.
Wentz, I thought, said he was actually going to start for week 1.
He could. They said that it could be very well that he does. start. But right now, his status is still up in the air, having that injury earlier in training camp. Wentz says he's good to go, so we'll have to see. I'm pretty sure he'll be a game time decision by week 1. But if Wentz ain't starting, I'm not picking the Colts, that's for sure. My money's going to be on the Seahawks that weekend. Russell Wilson's still a very competent quarterback, one of the best in the league in accuracy.
What score do you think is going to be?
Seahawks.
Yeah, Seahawks score.
Seahawks 35. Colts 28.
You're going
Now,
high even without Wentz.
They still have a pretty hot defense.
I mean, yeah, the Colts do have a good defense. I'm surprised you're going with 35 with the Seahawks.
I'd be a little bit more believing in the Colts if Carson Wentz was not up in the air at the moment.
So I'm actually taking the Seahawks 20-17. I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think that the Seahawks are going to score like wildly like you think they are.
I think that Russell Wilson's going to have a field day and toss all over that defense. I just have that weird feeling that Russell Wilson, with all that trade talk, everything in the offseason that everybody was talking about Russell Wilson, he has something to prove, and a Seahawk, he'll stay for a while. That's why I make that score look like that, because I really think that Russell Wilson has a chip on his shoulder from all the trade talks in the offseason and everything. You know?
And plus, it's the start of the season, and Russell Wilson usually lights people up in the start of the season, and then he starts declining after that.
That's another reason why I picked Wilson to do all that, because he's going to have a flashy game against the Colts, who are a mid to average football team.
Okay, next game's going to be fun. Pod, are you ready for this game?
I am ready.
It's the New York Jets at the Carolina Panthers. I'm going to start this one off. Panthers are going to win. Darnold's going to throw 5 touchdowns against the Jets, and he's going to completely wash them out 38-0. All right, Pod, you talk about this game now.
So, the Jets. Sam Darnold is coming back to New York in his first game with his brand new team. Now, they said that he's had a pretty good training camp. He's learned the offense well. He's ready to go out and lead this team and have a second chance. However, being a Bills fan, I get to watch a lot of the AFC East. And when he was in New York, he stumbled a bit. He seemed not comfortable in that pocket. He threw some nice passes when he actually got some comfortability and some room. But it was very, very rare that we see that happen. He took a lot of sacks, a lot of bad hits where interceptions were thrown. So I know that the Panthers have been working with him on that, specifically with his poise in the pocket. It should be a really close game. Honestly, I'm not going to give it what you gave it. I'm actually going to say that Darnold's going to have a great game. But at the same time, my man Justin Fields, Ohio motherfucking State, all right, Justin Fields is going to have a game. Oh, no, he's a Bear. That's right. So who do the Jets have?
Zach Wilson.
I know they drafted Zach Wilson. That's right. Wilson should be okay. I haven't heard anything terrible coming out of Jets training camp, but then again, I don't care about the Jets.
So I'm just gonna say this real quick. I was joking about 38-0. I think the game's actually gonna be a lot more closer than that. I think it's gonna be 20-17. I think Zach Wilson's gonna have a decent performance.
I think Arnold's gonna have a couple of good touchdown throws. I think he's gonna be able to hook up with a couple of his new receivers, show that the confidence that. And you know what? I'll give him this. It's very hard to be a quarterback and on any New York football team, with all the publicity and all that shit. You see what happened to Tim Tebow when he went to the Jets. You see what happens when you go to the Giants. Guys like Eli Manning and guys like, let's just throw this out there, Mark, whatever the hell his name was, who was with the Jets for a while.
Sanchez.
Yeah, Mark Sanchez. Those guys thrived in that limelight. You know what I'm saying? And then they decline unless your last name is Manning. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So hopefully the Jets got something in Zach Wilson. I think the game's going to be close, 20-17.
All right, you're taking Carolina.
Correct.
All right, I'm going to get through this game real quickly because I only have like 1 or 2 things to say about this. Next game is Minnesota Vikings at the Cincinnati Bengals. I think this is going to be a shit show. I'm taking Cincinnati 7-3.
You're going to take Cincinnati 7-3?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a shit show. I don't think this is going to be a good game.
Well, I'm just going to go ahead because I have a couple things to say about this team, especially because the Vikings are my favorite NFC franchise.
Okay.
I'm very weary about this season with the Vikings. They let Everson Griffin go after 10 years, but then re-signed him. You know, the fact that they didn't pull the trigger on a quarterback, the fact that they didn't pull the trigger on a quarterback and they're keeping Kirk Cousins, and Kirk Cousins is just, I don't want to get vaccinated. It seems like he's becoming a problem in that locker room. I don't see it being a very good season for the Vikes this year. I'm going to go ahead and take, who are they playing again? I'm sorry.
They're playing against Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'm going to take Cincinnati. I think Joe Burrow didn't get enough time in the preseason. He's going to come out lighting it up.
So what do you think the score is going to be?
It's definitely not going to be 7-3. I'm looking at more like 28-3.
So the reason I'm scared of Burrow is because they didn't actually fix the O-line, and I'm afraid Burrow's going to get freaking killed again in that pocket for Cincinnati Bengals. I have
Right,
that feeling
and that
Burrow's
very
going to
well could
die.
be the thing where the Vikings defense take over. But in my opinion, there's so many off-field problems in the locker room with players not getting vaccinated, especially one of your lead, the quarterback of your team.
Yeah.
That's your leader. Someone on Twitter said the other day about Kirk Cousins that they don't feel like Kirk Cousins is the answer for the Vikings anymore because he's not willing to get the vaccination for the rest of his team. And in my opinion, I agree with that. If you're not willing to take that step for your team, why the fuck are you here? Why are you a franchise quarterback? That's just my opinion on the matter.
I agree. I don't think Kirk Cousins is a franchise quarterback at all. I don't know why they
He never has been. Not when he was in Washington. I wouldn't have taken him over Robert Griffin III. I would have taken Robert Griffin III and his fucked up knee every single year over Kirk shit ass Cousins. Jimmy Garoppolo should have gone to Minnesota. However, speaking of Jimmy Garoppolo, you think Trey Lance is going to beat him? Shanahan still says he hasn't named his starter. That could be a landing spot for Garoppolo there in Minnesota.
I could see it if they want to get rid of Kirk Cousins, but it seemed like they're just too infatuated with Cousins. They should have drafted a quarterback like last year.
I honestly feel they're paying way too much for him, too.
Anyways, next game is going to be the Arizona Cardinals at the Tennessee Titans. I'm going to let you talk about this game first.
The Titans. Let's talk about how the Titans absolutely bolstered their team. Ryan Tannehill coming off one of the best seasons he's ever had as a franchise quarterback last year. Honestly, like they've added who the hell did they definitely added somebody huge. Julio Jones. Yeah. Julio Jones is a Titan. There's not much to say. The Titans on paper look awesome this year.
It's such a hard season for Tennessee because this COVID stuff could still just completely destroy them in the long scheme of things. But they have Julio Jones, they have Derrick Henry, they have Ryan Tannehill. I mean, Tannehill's been looking great since he left M. Gase. And that's another reason I said Carolina I think is going to be decent with Darnold, because Darnold without Gase I think is going to be decent too. I think it's going to be another case of Ryan Tannehill.
Right. I agree 100%.
I took Arizona over the Titans 28-27. I said, and it's close. I said close. The only reason I took the Arizona Cardinals over the Titans is because I do not like Tennessee. So I had to take Cardinals.
Well, let's talk about the Cardinals for a second. Huge pickup this year in J.J. Watt.
That's right, J.J. Watt.
J.J. Watt, Cardinal right now. Kyler Murray has only grown as a passer. I mean, I'll tell you right now, being a Buffalo fan and watching Kyler Murray throw that long pass, it was a sight to see, man. I'll tell you right now, that kid is going places. Watch out and listen for the name Kyler Murray. I'm going to take the Cardinals over the Titans 28-17.
28-17. So you don't think the Titans are actually going to keep it close with
I just think with J.J. Watt, I heard that J.J. Watt's playing is going to be a little limited at first. They don't know what role they want him to play exactly yet. Especially, I'm pretty sure Jadeveon Clowney's there too.
He is, I believe.
So with those two, I mean, it very well could be like it was in the 2010s for the Texans with that dominant defense, with Kyler Murray leading the offense. I could very well be wrong.
Now, real quick, we're gonna go to the next game here. Niners at Detroit. You know more about Detroit football than I do. I'll let you talk about them.
So Detroit just signed Brashard Perriman, or Detroit let Brashard Perriman go. He did not last through the season there. And overall, when I watched that first game in Ford Field, the Lions look good for playing against our second team offense. Jared Goff really, really knew how to lead that team. I honestly think that that's going to be the sleeper game, and I honestly think the Lions are going to win. It's going to be a low-scoring game, though. I'm going to say that it's going to end up being 10-3.
10-3. So I actually scored it 3-0 for the Niners. I accidentally put 30 on accident, but I meant 3-0. But yeah, I think the Niners are gonna. I just think this is gonna be a low-scoring game as well. I think the Niners are Garoppolo or Trey Lance. I think if Trey Lance does start, it's gonna be more of an entertaining game. I think Trey Lance is actually gonna lift the scoreboard a little bit. But with the Lions, I just can't trust the Lions after seeing so much from them. I've seen this.
I honestly think though, and with living out here and hearing the radio and hearing this man speak and watching this man talk about how much he loves this team and how much he loves being in Detroit now, Dan Carpenter has come here to change the lifestyle. And I'm telling you right now, where you thought the Lions were not good, the Lions will be good again. They haven't been good since they've had Barry Sanders, and this was over 20 years ago. So they are hungry. These Lions fans, and I'll tell you right now, the atmosphere inside their building is unprecedented for a team in the inner city that has had a 0-16 record at one point in their franchise record. These fans still haven't given up on their team. And you know what, Wolf? Living here, I haven't either. I'm going to take the Lions 10-3.
All right. Well, let's go to the next game here. Steelers at the Bills. I'm going to let you talk real quickly about this game first, and I'll talk about my thoughts about this.
So I'll tell you right now, this is really going to be a hard game to watch because I know how good the Steelers were last year. We all know how good the Steelers were last year. But that was last year. Okay? This year, every single player from Buffalo has come back, with the exception of Jacob Hollister, who was signed by Jacksonville earlier this morning. Okay? Josh Allen has signed a brand new contract. In the game, again, in his first preseason appearance, the man was phenomenal. I believe he threw for, it was 14 for 20 for 196 yards and 2 touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that sounds right.
Yeah, that is Josh Allen. Okay, there's going to be a lot of Josh Allen. You're going to hear a lot of Diggs. You're going to hear a lot of Emmanuel Sanders. Let's talk about Emmanuel Sanders getting signed to Buffalo. Emmanuel Sanders says that this is the most train moving forward team that he's been on in a long time. The energy that comes from Buffalo, the fans, everything, you really can't take anything away from them. They went to the AFC Championship last year. They're hungry for more. Buffalo has never won a Super Bowl before. They have lost 4 consecutive Super Bowls in the 90s. I think it's time to bring one home for Ralph. The Buffalo Bills will go 12-2 this season, and they will win the Super Bowl.
Do you think there's only 14
games? I'm sorry, 13-3. 16, or I'm sorry.
17 games.
Huh?
There's 17
games. 14-3, that's 17 games. The Bills will have 14. The Bills will have 14 wins this season, and will go on and will beat the AFC champions, and they will go on to the Super Bowl. And this will be the year that the Buffalo Bills capture their first Super Bowl. You heard it here first. I've been predicting this since 2017. It took the Bills 4 years to get into the process of winning mode. Nothing to take away from the Steelers, but the Steelers have been there 6 times.
What do you think
the Steelers were going to go again? They were going to go last year. However, I can't take anything away. They brought in Dwayne Haskins mid last year, the Ohio State rookie that got released by Washington, and he's done fairly well in the absence of Ben Roethlisberger. the Buffalo Steelers game, I'm honestly not going to be able to give you an accurate score because it's anybody's game, Wolf.
You think it's anybody's game, but who's going to win?
You know, I
You got to
can't
take
give you that
Buffalo.
because I'm gonna unbiasedly pick the Bills.
Yeah, we already knew it was going to be Buffalo. Do you have an actual score that you can say, though?
35-28.
This fly is bugging me. 35-28.
35-28.
All right. So I'll say this about the Steelers real quickly, since you just went off about the Bills. Big Ben has been on the decline, but at the start of the season and throughout the first few weeks, he comes out guns blazing. And then he just finally, his body starts giving up on him after those 5 to 6 week period.
Well, here's the thing for Big Ben right now, he's got to compete. Like, if he wants to keep this job for this year, he's got to compete because this kid, Dwayne Haskins, has already been through one shit team. Okay? Like, this kid wants to play. This kid will do anything to play. And I think he could learn a lot from Ben Roethlisberger if Ben Roethlisberger chooses to play.
I think this is going to be Big Ben's last season.
I honestly think it is too. I think Dwayne Haskins is going to learn everything he can. And next year, we're going to see a quarterback competition between Haskins and Dobbs.
Actually, they have Rudolph, I believe, not Dobbs on the team.
Oh, no, they released Dobbs. My bad.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to say this. I think this is going to be Josh Allen's MVP season. I think Buffalo's going to win 45-17, and Allen's going to light up this game. I just don't see the Steelers really having that much chance. Even if Big Ben comes out and plays really well, I still think that they're not going to keep up with Josh Allen and the high-scoring offense of the Bills. Stephon Diggs, Emmanuel Sanders, Gabriel Davis is looking phenomenal for his second season. You also have Cole Beasley as well. That's a strong receiving core. Let's be honest.
Right.
Okay?
You can take anything away from that defense at all whatsoever.
Like, I mean,
that secondary was one of the toughest in the league.
I agree with that, but look what Josh Allen did that last season.
That's true. That's true, but I mean, this is a brand new season, Wolf.
MVP quarterbacks take teams like the Steelers, who have the best defense in the league, and he makes squash meat out of them. That's why I think it's going to be a high-scoring game for the Bills, 45-17. We have to keep moving on though, because we're wasting time here. We're getting out of time. It's a lot of games, by the way, so we're gonna have a big spot for this game for this 2 weeks for the first 2 weeks, because there's a lot of games where people are actually on bye weeks. So just remember that, guys, when we're doing this. Anyways, let's get on to the next game. It's gonna be the Eagles at the Falcons. Who are you gonna take for the Eagles and Falcons?
Honestly, I gotta take the Falcons. The Eagles have a rookie quarterback in Jalen Hurts. They just got Gardner Minshew from the Jaguars in a trade. Acquired Minshew in a trade, so now Minshew's on the third on the chart behind Flacco. Honestly, right now this is Jalen Hurts' team, but I don't think Jalen Hurts is ready to be the starting quarterback, and that is exactly why the Eagles are going to lose to the Falcons this Sunday or next Sunday.
Do you have a score for that?
Oh yeah, Matty Ice is gonna pump it up. It's gonna be like I want to say it's gonna be 42-17.
42-17?
Oh yeah. Matt Ryan has proven time and time and again that he can change with the times. He has been the longest tenured quarterback that Atlanta's had since Michael Vick. You know what I'm saying? He's been there since what, 2004, 2005?
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree that Matty Ice is really good.
For Matt Ryan, and 16 is better than any number for him to win his first Super Bowl.
So my thing is right now is that I think Jalen Hurts has something to prove here. I mean, you just put Gardner Minshew on the court on the roster. You have Minshew, who was the second string that you just said?
Joe Flacco.
And you have Jalen Hurts. That's a big competition there for Hurts if he does not do well.
But Nick Sirianni said this week that Jalen Hurts is our guy.
Oh, I agree. I mean, he is their guy, yes. I'm just saying that Hurts needs to, you know how that can change in a heartbeat if you don't play, though.
Right, absolutely.
So, I actually took the Eagles. I think Eagles are going to beat them 20-14. I just don't like Atlanta's defense, to be honest. Atlanta's defense just scares the hell out of me. I think Matty Ice is going to do really well this season, and even though people might think that Matty Ice is not going to do really well because he doesn't have Julio Jones anymore, I still think Matty Ice is actually a decent quarterback, and that offense is actually phenomenal. Well, not
Let
phenomenal.
me
They're decent, okay? I'll say decent.
let me say something to the Atlanta fans out there. If you think that they just let Julio Jones go, they are wrong. Football teams always have a plan in place, and I'm pretty confident right now in the receiving core that Atlanta has. I stand by my decision.
All right. Well, here's an interesting game for you as well, Potter. I'll let you talk about this one as well. The Cleveland Browns going into Kansas City to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. This is a very interesting game to me.
This is the game that could have been last year for the AFC Championship had the Browns put forth a bit more of an effort, but it's really hard to stop that nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills, like I keep saying. But the Cleveland Browns put up an amazing effort last year. Definitely talking about Baker Mayfield, definitely grew as a quarterback in the pocket. His presence seems so well. He has a couple of really, really good talents in that wide receiver core. Honestly, but you got to talk about the explosiveness that is Patrick Mahomes in that Kansas City Chief offense and defense. I don't think that the Cleveland Browns are going to be able to keep up. They're going to have the same problem that the Bills did. Um, I think that it's going to take a minute for Mahomes to find the weak spots. But once Mahomes finds those weak spots in that secondary, he most definitely is going to exploit that for sure. Especially with Travis Kelce's returning. Um, you know what I'm saying? Like Cleveland. I don't know. It's going to be a real close game. I'm going to say it's going to be. I'm going to say it's going to be 42-35. I think that
42-35.
I think that the Chiefs are just going to have that little bit more of an advantage. Again, just like what happened with Buffalo last year, Cleveland's just not quite there yet. They're
Now,
close, but they're not quite there yet.
I want to come on here and actually say this before I say who I think is going to win and my prediction for like score and whatnot. The Browns are a really good team this year, and nothing should be taken away from what they're going to do this season for what I'm about to say, but they're just not in the Chiefs level yet. I don't
I
think
agree.
I think Patrick Mahomes is going to come in there, and he's going to be very pissed off about how he played against the Cleveland Browns in the last playoff game, and I think he's going to go in there and throw at least 45 points up on the Browns. However, I see Baker Mayfield keeping up with him and scoring at least 32 on the Chiefs as well. So I think it's going to be the Chiefs winning 45-32. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think both defense. I think the Clowns' defense are actually really good. It's just how can you stop? What defense can stop Mahomes? Is the question. That's the problem right now. You have to have is that you have to think that Mahomes is going to put 45 to 50 points on your defense. So you have to keep up with that. The only way you keep up with that is a high-scoring offense. So I think the Chiefs are going to win 45-32.
And that's another thing I gotta say. I just don't think the Chiefs are quite, or the Browns are just, they're not there yet. They're close, but they're not there yet.
Now watch the Browns are going to be the team that actually surprise us this week, and they're going to beat Kansas City.
Right.
Packers at the Saints. I'm going to do this real quickly. I'm going to talk about this before Potter does. I think, okay, we're talking about teams that are there and not quite there yet. Jameis Winston had a really good preseason game. Or a really good preseason this year, right? Am I right about that?
I agree, absolutely.
Winston is going to take on one of the toughest defenses in the Green Bay Packers against a pissed-off Aaron Rodgers-led offense. This is not a good game for the Saints, to be honest. I think the Packers.
And see, this is the thing, though. I think the Packers made the right decision in trading for Randall Cobb to get Randall Cobb back. That made a little bit of a difference in the way that Aaron Rodgers feels about this team because all offseason, all I kept hearing was Aaron Rodgers isn't going to play for the Green Bay Packers. Expect Rodgers to move, blah, blah, blah. No, you're wrong. Rodgers isn't going to move yet. Rodgers has got one more year left. here in Green Bay, and this is going to be the year where he lights it up so he can get a contract elsewhere with like the Raiders or something else, one of those East Coast or one of those West Coast teams that really needs a quarterback like the Raiders, because Derek Carr, in my opinion, is absolute fucking trash.
Why do you think he's going to the West Coast?
There was talks about him wanting to host Jeopardy and all this other nonsense. And I just think Aaron Rodgers, I think he wants to play in warmer weather than Green Bay. I think that most Green Bay players wish for that at some point.
I was gonna say
Green
you
Bay
gotta be careful because he might go to Miami.
Green Bay isn't the team it used to be in the 2010s or even the 2000s where they were going to the playoffs every year. I think that Aaron Rodgers knows that, and I think the fans in the city of Green Bay know that. I just think that if Rodgers is to stay around, this will be the year that the Green Bay Packers go back to the playoffs because Rodgers has a chip on his shoulder. He didn't get traded like he asked. You know, he's done everything for the Green Bay Packers franchise. He's brought them a championship ring. I mean, he's kept them relevant as Brett Favre did before him. I just feel like when it's a player's time to go, it's a player's time to go. You know what I'm saying? And you can't force a player to stay on a team because that's when he starts to play like shit and not care. And, you know, I'd hate for that to happen in Green Bay because Aaron Rodgers is one of the best quarterbacks of this century.
Now, I think that is going to happen eventually, that Rodgers is going to start actually not caring for most of the games. That's going to be later on in the season. But this is the start of the season. I just don't see Rodgers doing that yet, if you get what I mean. That's why I took
I agree.
I'm taking Green Bay over the Saints, 35-20. You want to take your prediction, I'm guessing?
Honestly, you want me to be honest about it?
You're taking the Saints?
The Saints are going to win 24-21.
24-20. Okay, so what do you see in the Saints that I don't? Let me just ask that.
The Jameis Winston getting a second chance. Jameis Winston's hungry. When Tom Brady got pulled into Tampa Bay, you don't think there's a chip on Jameis Winston's shoulder?
Oh, there is definitely a chip on his shoulder.
He got to learn from Drew Brees, all this other nonsense, and now it's Jameis Winston's time to shine again. And he has a very, very decent team around him. The New Orleans Saints have only missed the playoffs in the last 5 years once. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're a really good team.
I think this might be Winston's chance to redeem himself for. He had an up and down career when he was in Tampa Bay. Let's just say that.
So I don't think Winston's gonna be throwing like 50 interceptions and 50 touchdowns this season. You might see a little bit of famous Winston in there a little bit in little games.
He's not Drew Brees, but he can be Drew Brees-like. He can throw the long ball. He's not afraid to launch that ball down there. He's not afraid to trust Michael Thomas. He's not afraid to trust any of the other receivers that he has. I think that it's going to be a really close game, but I think the Saints are going to come up with another field goal, and I think the Packers are going to get upset.
Okay. I need to see it from Winston myself before I actually believe it, and I can't just take preseason games to actually, feel that way about Winston.
Go watch any of his fucking play from the first 2-3 years that he's in the league.
Oh, I know he was decent in those first 3 years. I know.
There's flashes of greatness.
Now, what messed him up though? You think it was Bruce Arians?
With Sean Payton there coaching him, I think Jameis Winston can be great for the Saints. 155%. Because again, it's not just a quarterback. It takes the system, it takes the players around you, and everything to make a great quarterback.
So do you think Bruce Arians is not a good coach?
My 76-year-old geriatric grandma can throw the ball. If I put the correct players around her, it would be fine.
Do you think Bruce Arians is not a good coach?
That's just my point.
Yeah, I know. I'm asking you, do you think Bruce Arians is not a good coach?
I didn't say that at all.
Okay.
I just think that when it comes to development of a quarterback, Bruce Arians is more about the here and the now rather than Bruce Arians would rather take a quarterback like Tom Brady than continue to build a Jameis Winston. And we've seen it. He dropped Jameis Winston like a bad hen.
You're not wrong
I
about
know,
that.
I know they didn't have the best like relationship with each other, but like you know what I'm saying. Like I feel like Bruce Arians has definitely always been that coach.
All right, so next
And
game up,
that's the way now. He's old. You know he doesn't have much left in him. He's old.
Brady. You mean?
As in like Bruce Arians doesn't like he got over like his bout with cancer and stuff. He doesn't have much time. Like he wants to win.
Oh,
So
okay. You're
I
talking about
don't.
Arians. Okay.
Huh?
I thought you were talking about Brady being old. I didn't.
No.
I didn't know you
I
mean Arians.
I don't blame him for throwing all of his eggs into one basket and wanting to win now. Whether that means he has Tom Brady for 5 years or 2 years, he's poised into a position to win now with the amount of personnel that he has around him. And Ndamukong Suh, to name a few.
All right,
Leonard Fournette.
we got 4 more games left here. Let's get through these as quickly as we can. Denver Broncos at the New York Giants. I'll just do my thing real quickly. I think Denver's gonna beat New York. I don't believe in Daniel Jones, really, guys. I'm saying 14-6. I don't believe in Denver
I
either.
actually am going to say the exact opposite right now. I don't believe in the Denver Broncos at all whatsoever. They have just taken a shit decline since John Elway has stepped down from talent and football relations. I think that the Giants and Daniel Jones have a lot to prove, and I think Daniel Jones is going to lead his team to a first season win, 14-6.
14-6. So we're basically taking the different teams, but we're taking the same score. Got it.
Correct.
So I'm taking Denver because I think Teddy Bridgewater is actually a decent quarterback.
I just think, I think people are too hyped on Teddy Bridgewater. I feel like the Vikings got rid of him for a reason. I feel like he would have stayed in Minnesota had they felt something special in him. Not that he's not competent, but I feel he's on a Tyrod Taylor level. He can get the job done, but he can't get the job done, if you feel what I'm saying.
So I just think with the New York Giants defense, I don't think that they're actually that decent or that good as well. Like that's a team that Teddy Bridgewater or Tyrod Taylor can beat.
And opinion. You know what? You know what they're doing? The Giants are honoring Michael Strahan, I believe, in that game. They're retiring Michael Strahan's number.
Oh, are they?
I believe so.
Hopefully they go out there and actually play decent for him then.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll have to see.
All right, this is going to be a game that's going to be interesting for you. I think that you should talk about it first before me. Patriots at Dolphins.
Well, with Cam Jones getting released, or Cam Newton getting released,
Cam Jones, everybody. Continue.
Leave me alone. It's been a long day. Cam Newton got released. A week ago, Bill Belichick said in a press conference that Cam Newton is our quarterback. 1 week later, Cam Newton's been released. So it is now Mac Jones' show. And honestly, I believe if I was a Patriots fan, I'd believe in Mac Jones. They wouldn't just let Cam Newton go for no reason. Cam Newton's a former Heisman Trophy winner. He's been to the Super Bowl. He didn't win a Super Bowl, but he's been there. He knows how to get the job done. Again, a competent quarterback. But they wouldn't have just let him go without no reason. I honestly feel that the Patriots are on the upwards again, and it really kind of fucking scares me because I'm a Bills fan and I don't like it.
So are you taking New England over the Dolphins?
I'm taking the Patriots for the W.
You're taking the Patriots over the Dolphins. What do you think the score's going to be?
Of course I'm going to take the Patriots over the Dolphins. The Dolphins have Tua Tagovailoa, who really struggled last year. Hopefully he's made some improvements this year, but I doubt it. The Dolphins always try to say that everything's good, and it's not. So I'm going to take the Patriots 17-14.
17-14? Okay. So I'm going to say this real quickly. I think Mac Jones is the system quarterback for Bill Belichick. Let's just put it out there right now. He probably sees Tom Brady in Mac Jones. Maybe a young Tom Brady is in Mac Jones right now, is what Belichick sees. And it's not going to be perfect for the first couple of weeks or for the first season for the Patriots, but they're in the right direction to get better again and be in that New England territory again. However,
Right.
the big thing in this game is going to be if Tua Tagovailoa can actually throw the football, because I seen last season he could not do jack shit on that offense.
Nope.
Freaking
Not at all.
Ryan Fitzpatrick was the reason that Miami Dolphins offense was actually solid. Ryan Fitzpatrick should have never been freaking benched for Tua Tagovailoa. But instead, Miami took the chance to put Tua Tagovailoa against the Bills. Now, I'll be honest here. I mean, that game on Week 17 with the Bills and Dolphins, great game to watch for me and probably for you too as well, Potter. Watching Josh Allen basically own his kid like he always does, which he'll do this season again, by the way. Sorry, Dolphin fans. But I'll say this. If it was Ryan Fitzpatrick in that game, it would have been a lot more scary for us, and it might have been a lot more close than it actually was.
I have to agree.
I'm sorry. I had to go on a rant there because the Dolphin thing really pissed me off that they actually did that dirty to Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think the Patriots are going to win 24-21. I think Dolphins are going to be at least decent on defense. They're going to get some defensive touchdowns. The Dolphins do have a good defense still. They haven't really lost anyone in defense. I believe they actually added Shaq Lawson to their team as well, didn't they?
Right.
So I think they're going to be
Shaq
decent.
Lawson.
Yeah.
Shaq Lawson has been everywhere.
Shaq Lawson.
At least in the AFC. I said Shaq Lawson.
All right. Your mic is playing in and out, but don't leave Discord yet because it fixed itself before. So let's try to get through this next game here real quickly while you're still here. I'm gonna let you talk about this next game here. See if your mic actually fixes itself. If it doesn't, I'll just cut you off and tell you to leave Discord and come back in. We got the Chicago Bears at the Los Angeles Rams.
Justin Fields. All right. Fields has come in.
All right, yeah, you're gonna have to leave the Discord. It's not getting better. Sorry about that, guys. This is how it is with Discord sometimes. Welcome back.
Better?
Yeah, that is way better. All right.
Okay. So Justin Fields. The reason why we have the other kid that they drafted right now, he's a backup. Yeah. Is because they didn't trust enough. They trust enough in Justin Fields already where they just let Trubisky go. So that says a lot to just trust in a rookie quarterback. Justin Fields was an amazing player at Ohio State. Me being an Ohio State fan, I did a lot of tape. I watched a lot of tape and a lot of plays from Justin Fields, and he's definitely competent and can move the ball down the field. Who are they playing?
They're taking on the Rams.
And the Rams have Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford, the vet who's been with Detroit all of his career, gets a chance to finally come sunny Los Angeles and play a game of football and play a bunch of games of football. Will Matt Stafford play to his contract? Will Matt Stafford be as good as they say he is? I don't think so. I think Matt Stafford is a mediocre quarterback, and he is treated as a higher prospect than he is. I think the Bears come in and stomp the Rams 21-3.
Now, I'll say this, is that I'm going to say real quickly that, yeah, I think Justin Fields is going to be really good. I think Justin Fields is actually going to help Chicago be a better team in general. However, I think the Los Angeles Rams has a defense. Aaron Donald. That's a scary defensive end for a rookie quarterback to face against to start the season.
Right.
Matthew Stafford, I don't think that he's actually overrated the way that you think he is.
I know. I talked to a lot of people living here in Detroit, and a lot of Amber's family that had season tickets would watch him. And he just, over the years, after the 0-16 season, when he got drafted, he came in, but they always felt like a Joey Harrington vibe. Like he was just a guy. He never did anything spectacular. He never did anything super flashy. He's just a quarterback. You know what I mean? And in Los Angeles, in a primetime city like Los Angeles, you need to be flashy or you're not going to last. I don't think Matt Stafford has the flashiness to last in Los Angeles.
Okay, but who's Stafford's coach?
Sean McVay.
McVay took Jared Goff to the Super Bowl.
I understand this.
I think he will be the one to get Stafford out of the hump.
Maybe, and that could be the case, and I hope so. I'm hopeful for Stafford. Stafford's a good dude. He did a lot for the city of Detroit. No one can take that away from him.
I don't like Stafford in the sense, like you just said about how he was playing in Detroit. I don't think he was actually that decent quarterback in Detroit. However, I think with Sean McVay as your head coach and with the weapons you have around you, that you have no excuse not to succeed. If Stafford does not succeed in this Los Angeles Rams system, there's no way he's going to be an NFL quarterback after this season. I got to take the Rams beating the Bears 31-17.
Maybe I should be a little bit more. Maybe I should be a little bit more caring. So I'm going to change my initial from 21 to 3 to 21 to 10.
So you think Stafford's going to score a touchdown then?
I think the defense is going to score a touchdown.
Okay, I that's why I said that. That's why I took the Rams, because I think the defense is going to be decent and stop like Justin Fields a lot. However, I need to see Stafford actually do something, and I'm going to be hopeful and think that he's going to score 31 points at least for the Rams. However, if he does not do that, my fate for Stafford and the Rams are going to plummet down if he doesn't do that week 1. And week 2 and week 3, my predictions are going to be a lot different from the Rams than they are this week. Anyways, we're on our last game, Potter. Monday Night Football. We have the Baltimore Ravens going into Las Vegas to face the Raiders and John Gruden.
The Raiders and John Gruden against who?
Lamar
all day. The Ravens are poised. They got Sammy Watkins now. I really think the Ravens look really good. We beat them to get to the AFC Championship game, and that was a hard game for us. Lamar Jackson is just an amazing all-around quarterback. He can throw the ball well. He can run the ball even better. I don't think the Raiders are going to be able to stop him.
So you're taking the Ravens. What score?
Huh?
What's the score?
The Ravens are going to win 24 to 6.
24-6?
Yep.
So it's Monday Night Football. I'm going to at least give the Raiders at least some points here. I'm going to say the Ravens are going to win 31-17. Only for the fact that it's Monday Night Football in Las Vegas. I'm guessing the Raiders are going to get some fluky touchdowns here or there. Maybe some deep pass to Henry Ruggs III. Or maybe some defensive touchdown here or there. But the Ravens should come away easily with this victory against the Raiders. Lamar should just run all over them. Now, I think Lamar and Sammy Watkins is going to be interesting to say the least until Watkins gets injured around week 5 or 6.
Right.
I can't. I just can't. I know how Watkins is. I watched him for like a few years with the Bills, and then he went to Kansas City, and he did the same thing. So yeah. Watkins is a really good receiver. If he can stay healthy, he's actually could be one of the best receivers in the NFL. However, he cannot.
Can't at all do it.
And also, there's questions about Lamar Jackson throwing. Which
I heard over the offseason he's really worked on his throwing maneuver, his motion. So I'm really interested to see that.
I'm interested to see that as well, because I want to see how Lamar actually throws. I don't think he was actually decent throwing last season at all.
He wasn't. But I've heard that he's made a lot of stride in his throwing motion.
Anyways, Potter, we went through an hour talking about football, every game that's for week 1, and we actually have shown everyone's picks. I'm guessing I'm going to show them right now if I edit it correctly. Here's everyone's picks for this week. I believe I'll just have it like flash your screen, like it'll show my picks and then Potter's picks and then like Ty Kiuno's and Andrew's and everything like that. Some people didn't actually take the score for games. They just took the teams. It was whatever. I didn't really care. Me and Potter at least gave us your scores as well, so you can like have a general distinction there. Any last words before I end this video, Potter?
Hey, 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 hey. Let's go, Buffalo. The Bills make me want to shout. Got
Now,
that?
now I'm gonna say this real quickly. I know Potter said the Bills are gonna win the Super Bowl this year. If people are gonna be in my comments, basically being a dick about it, being like, "Oh, this guy doesn't know anything about football because they're Bills fans,"
No. I was and honestly, I'm a true Bills fan. I gave a W, just so you guys know, I gave a W to the fucking Patriots. Okay? I am a true Bills fan, but I know football when I talk about it.
now here's the
When
thing: it's the
when I
Patriots versus the Dolphins.
huh?
It's the Patriots versus the Dolphins.
Right. But I'm still, I would, if it was like, if I wanted to be unbiased, I would have picked the Dolphins to win. But I know that, the Patriots can't be counted out with Mac Jones now.
Yeah, I mean, I still think it's going to take at least a season or two for Mac Jones to get comfortable in the NFL. But once he's comfortable, I think it's going to be a dangerous
Of
AFC East.
course. Of course. And normally people wouldn't hear that come out of my mouth. But right now I'm being biased as shit. Like, I have no choice. I want to be biased. I will say that the Bills are going to win the Super Bowl this year. They went to the AFC Championship last year. They didn't have the correct pieces to rush Patrick Mahomes. But now we drafted an Rousseau had 33% of pressure on the quarterback, the best in the preseason. So I'll tell you right now again, the Buffalo Bills with the correct players in the correct positions, now with the correct edge rush, will go on to Super Bowl this year. It's enough said.
My point is, it's all opinion based, and I know he's saying from facts. Yes, I agree with what he just said, but it's all opinion based. If you don't like it, do not go in the comment section trying to just diss Potter's opinion or my opinion or anyone else's opinion on who's gonna win or who's gonna lose
This
and
is
this
the
that or the
NFL.
other. It's the
Anything and
NFL.
everything can and will happen. Injuries can happen to completely debunk my theory. Josh Allen could get hit in week one, just like Tom Brady got hit in week one. I'd be out all season long and I'll be fucked. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Again, it's my opinion and mine alone.
So basically, do not be
However,
a
I
dick.
feel that
All
it's
right,
a very
guys,
good opinion.
that's gonna do it for me. I'm gonna sign out. I'll see you guys in week 2 or whenever I make another YouTube video.
Ace.